Imagine a situation where a mastermind criminal deep into heroin addiction not only avoids prison but also outsmarts the seasoned detective trying to put him away. That's right, it's a tale of strategy, cunning, and incredible wit. Let's dive into the story. It all started on a seemingly ordinary evening in 2011 when an armed robbery was reported at a local 7-Eleven store. The police sprang into action to solve this case and bring the perpetrator to justice, but little did they know this case was about to take a remarkable turn. As the police arrived at the scene, the suspect had vanished into thin air. However, they heard a commotion coming from a nearby house. With adrenaline pumping, the officers stormed the house and arrested Jeff Pearson, a known heroin addict, on suspicion of committing the robbery. Now, what happened next is truly mind-boggling. The entire 24-hour interrogation was recorded on police cameras, and guess what? It later ended up on Jeff's own YouTube channel. Can you believe it? Jeff Pearson, the very man suspected of a robbery, uploaded the entire interrogation for the world to see. Let's jump into the interrogation room and see what went down. Typically, an armed robbery in Georgia carries a hefty sentence ranging from 10 years to life imprisonment. So the stakes were high for Jeff Pearson. Now, it's important to note that the police weren't actually sure if Jeff was the one who committed the actual robbery. They simply went into the house and assumed it was him since he was also carrying a gun with him. But here's where it gets interesting. Jeff demonstrated exceptional skill in handling police interrogations thanks to a good understanding of his rights. You see, when under arrest in the US, individuals have the right to remain silent and request a lawyer. And guess what? Jeff exercised that right effectively. From this alone, you can already tell that Jeff knew the ins and outs of a police interrogation. It also seems likely that it wasn't his first time doing this.
Am I under arrest?
For now.
He starts by asking if he was under arrest, a brave question considering the obvious intimidation being set by the police. And so the officer starts stating to Jeff his Miranda rights.
Wait, everything, before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
Take note of how Jeff repeatedly cuts him off to ask what he was under arrest for. So, again, anyone being detained has these three basic rights: the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer, and the right to stop answering the questions being raised. That said, Jeff can simply stay silent the whole time if he wants to. Contrary to the movies, you're not obligated to answer anything just yet. And this simple but powerful act of requesting a lawyer can be a game changer in an interrogation. Once you say those words, the police should know that it's time to stop the interrogation and wait for the suspect's lawyer to arrive. Jeff knew this and he played his cards right. The officer then asks if he understood his rights clearly.
Do you understand your rights? Do you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? Do you understand?
We're getting paid more than you are, so we can sit here for a long time, man.
I just need you to answer me yes or no. Do you understand your rights? Let's get through that question. Do you understand what I read you? Did you comprehend what I read you?
Now, Jeff simply didn't respond. Instead, this happened. It's clear at this point that Jeff wasn't going to back down anytime soon. He followed this up once again by asking if he was under arrest.
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
I'm getting back to the cell. I don't talk to you motherfuckers.
Okay, fair enough.
It seems that Jeff knew they had nothing on him, and for the next 2 hours, he was put back in his cell. On the other side of the table was Detective Smith, a seasoned investigator who thought he had seen it all. Now let's move to the next round of interrogation where it gets even more bizarre. Jeff still remained calm and casual when questioned about a crime for which there was no concrete evidence. He even asked for sodas during the interrogation to maintain his composure. I mean, who does that in the middle of an interrogation? He also shared that he needs methadone.
I need methadone.
Obviously already suffering drug withdrawals. Watch as Jeff and the officer talk about Jeff's drug use for the past years.
How long you been using heroin?
Long time, buddy.
10 years? 15 years?
I hardly been alive that long.
Then, back to the robbery incident. Still not giving in, Jeff asked what the whole thing was about, maintaining that he had nothing to do with the robbery. He was just at the wrong place and wrong time. Now, listen to how Jeff totally dominates the interrogation. He knows the officer is out to get him. Confident of his innocence, Jeff wastes no time and recalls what exactly happened the night before. Jeff Pearson's responses throughout the interrogation were nothing short of strategic.
No, I don't know why I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing.
He refused to confess and stuck to his rights, asking for a lawyer repeatedly. It was like a chess game and Jeff was the grand master, making calculated moves to protect himself.
I have enough evidence
Like what?
of the armed robbery, okay?
The officer tried to intimidate Jeff by mentioning evidence, but Jeff remained resolute. Based on Jeff's movements at the time, the withdrawals are getting more serious already. That didn't stop Jeff from being an absolute master in handling the interrogation, though.
The deal is, I have enough evidence
Like what?
of the armed robbery, okay? But, you know, if you're saying you didn't do it, you need to give me your side of the story.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, give me your side of the story. You got, convince me. Because I got a lot of evidence. I got a lot of physical evidence.
Well, like what? Name
Well, I don't need to, why should I tell you that?
Detective Smith used the read technique, a method often used by police, which can sometimes lead to false confessions from suspects, but not this time. Jeff was well aware that speaking could incriminate him, so he asserted his rights wisely. He knew the importance of silence. Now, take a look at how the officer desperately tries to come up with a trade.
Why do I need to do that? You haven't helped me out at all. You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my piece of evidence, now give me a little something. Alright? What time do you get over to Aaron's house?
No, anything I say here can and will be used against me.
Sure, but anything you say here, I can also tell your parole officer that you helped me out.
It doesn't.
Throughout the interrogation, Jeff remained cool, calm, and collected, despite experiencing heroin withdrawals and immense police pressure. He was like a detective himself.
I'm done, man. Fuck this. I'm not even answering. All this shit that I just said is gonna be fucking written in the discovery now, right?
What? You haven't said nothing.
I mean, every little stupid thing that you've asked me, dude, is gonna be in the discovery.
I'm not even going to do discovery.
The prosecutor is.
Okay. You halfway know the system, how things work, you halfway don't. Am I right?
I half-ass know
Yeah.
that the only reason I came up here is to get a fucking Coke.
Okay.
And I got it, but now I want a Butterfinger.
But that's not going to happen for a while.
What, the Butterfinger?
Yeah.
Why not? I need to go to the hospital. I'm coughing up blood. Let's go to the hospital.
And then, after a grueling 12-hour interrogation, something incredible happened. Jeff Pearson was released from custody. Yes, you heard that right. He outsmarted the detective and walked away a free man. This is a lesson we can all learn from, knowing your rights and using them to your advantage. But that's not the end of the story. Jeff turned his life around after this incident. He overcame his heroin addiction and started a YouTube channel. Today he shares his journey, makes music, and even gives tips on avoiding police tricks. Talk about a plot twist. Beyond the captivating drama of this story, it raises important questions about our justice system and the rights of individuals in custody. It's a reminder that every person, regardless of their circumstances, has the right to a fair and just process. Jeff's interrogation is a clear testament to the power of knowledge, strategy, and understanding your rights when facing the police. Jeff's story also highlights the importance of rehabilitation and second chances. He transformed his life, proving that even the most unlikely individuals can change for the better. So that's all for today's episode. Folks, if you enjoyed watching, leave a like and share it with your friends. You can also comment and let us know what you'd like to see from this channel in the future. Also, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. You'll want to check out our other videos. Stay tuned for more awesomeness. Thanks for watching.